There's a specific mistake that men make over and over again, and it's most damaging with the women they actually care about. Ironically, the more a man likes a woman, the more likely he is to make this mistake. And it's the reason so many great guys end up in the friend zone while wondering what went wrong. This mistake isn't obvious. It doesn't feel like a mistake when you're making it. In fact, it feels like you're doing everything right. You're being attentive, available, interested, and invested. You're showing her how much you care. And that's exactly the problem. Welcome to Aphorism Archive, where we explore the psychology behind relationships and personal growth. Today, we're breaking down the single biggest dating mistake men make with women they genuinely like, why it backfires so consistently, and what to do instead. If you've ever felt like the more effort you put in, the less interested she became, this video is for you. Let's dive in. Treating the woman you like completely differently than you treat everyone else in your life. When a man really likes a woman, something shifts in his behavior. He becomes more careful, more accommodating, more eager to please. He suppresses parts of his personality that might be controversial. He agrees with things he doesn't actually agree with. He becomes hyper-available and overly invested in her approval. Here's what this looks like in practice. With his friends, he's relaxed, opinionated, and playful. He'll tease them, disagree with them, cancel plans if something better comes up, and be completely authentic. But with the woman he likes, suddenly he's careful, agreeable, always available, and constantly seeking approval. With people he's not trying to impress, he has boundaries. He says no when he needs to. He doesn't drop everything for every request. He maintains his schedule and priorities. But with her, his boundaries disappear. He's available whenever she calls. He cancels his own plans to accommodate hers. He puts her needs above his own consistently. With everyone else, he's comfortable being himself, flawed, opinionated, sometimes disagreeable, occasionally unavailable. But with her, he tries to be perfect. He filters everything he says. He performs rather than just existing. And here's the psychological trap: this feels like the right thing to do. It feels like you're showing her how special she is, how much you value her, how different she is from other people in your life. But from her perspective, something very different is happening. She's experiencing a version of you that doesn't match how you interact with the rest of the world. And humans are incredibly good at detecting incongruence, when someone's behavior doesn't match their natural state. When you treat her completely differently than you treat everyone else, several things happen in her psychology. First, she senses the performance. On some level, she knows you're not being fully authentic. She can feel that you're trying too hard, and that effort signals that you don't believe you're good enough as you actually are. Second, she loses respect. When you abandon your boundaries, opinions, and priorities just for her attention, it communicates that you don't have a strong sense of self. And respect is the foundation of attraction. Third, she feels pressure. Your overinvestment creates an unspoken obligation. She can feel that you're expecting something in return for all this effort, and that expectation feels like emotional pressure rather than genuine connection. Fourth, she gets bored. The version of you that's trying to be perfect is less interesting than the authentic version with rough edges, strong opinions, and a life that doesn't revolve around her. So why do men make this mistake? Why do we treat women we like differently than everyone else? It comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding about what creates attraction. Most men believe that attraction is earned through demonstrating value, showing how good of a partner they'd be, and proving they care more than other potential suitors. So when they really like someone, they double down on these strategies. They think, if I show her how available I am, she'll see I'm reliable. If I agree with everything she says, she'll see we're compatible. If I prioritize her above everything else, she'll see how much I care. This logic seems sound, but it's based on a flawed premise. It assumes that attraction is a logical transaction, that if you provide enough value, care, and attention, attraction will be the natural result. But attraction isn't logical. It's emotional and psychological. And the psychology of attraction is often counterintuitive. From an evolutionary psychology perspective, humans are attracted to indicators of high mate value. And one of the strongest indicators is how you're treated by others and how you treat yourself. When a man treats everyone with respect and maintains boundaries, but suddenly abandons those boundaries for one particular woman, it doesn't signal she's special. It signals he's desperate for her approval. There's also a principle in psychology called scarcity value. We assign higher value to things that are rare or difficult to obtain. When you make yourself abundantly available, when you have no other priorities, when you're always saying yes, you're eliminating scarcity. Think about it. If someone cancels their plans, changes their opinions, and restructures their life just because you showed up, what does that say about the quality of their life before you arrived? It suggests they didn't have much going on, which is not an attractive quality. Additionally, there's a phenomenon called reward uncertainty that's crucial to understanding attraction. Research shows that inconsistent rewards create stronger behavioral responses than consistent ones. It's why gambling is addictive and why people stay in toxic relationships. When you're predictably available and consistently agreeable, you eliminate uncertainty. There's no mystery, no challenge, no variation. And while that might seem like it should create security, it actually creates boredom. There's another psychological principle at play here that makes this mistake particularly damaging: the contrast principle. The contrast principle states that we evaluate things relative to what came before them. If you're trying on clothes, a moderately priced item seems cheap after you've looked at expensive ones, and expensive after you've looked at cheap ones. In dating, the contrast works like this. When you first meet someone, you're probably more relaxed, more authentic, and less invested. You're just getting to know them, so you're not overthinking everything. This version of you is often attractive because it's genuine and unpressured. But as you start to really like her, you shift into try-hard mode. You become more available, more agreeable, more careful. And she experiences this as a negative contrast. She's comparing the relaxed, confident guy she first met with the eager-to-please guy you've become. And the shift is jarring. She thinks, what happened to the guy who had his own opinions? The guy who seemed busy with his own life? The guy who was playful and slightly unpredictable? This contrast often triggers what's commonly called the ick, that sudden loss of attraction that women sometimes experience. It's not that you did anything objectively wrong. It's that the change in your behavior created cognitive dissonance. She was attracted to one version of you, and now she's interacting with a different version. And this new version feels less authentic, less confident, and less attractive. I've seen this pattern play out countless times. A guy meets a woman and they have great chemistry. He's being himself, she's clearly interested, everything is flowing naturally. Then he realizes I really like her, and everything changes. He starts texting more frequently, being more available, agreeing with everything she says, and planning his schedule around her. And almost immediately, her interest starts to fade. From his perspective, it makes no sense. He's giving her more attention, more effort, more investment. Shouldn't that increase attraction? But from her perspective, the guy she was interested in has been replaced by someone who seems desperate for her approval. And desperation, regardless of how it's packaged, is deeply unattractive. So what's the alternative? How should you behave with someone you really like? The answer is simple but challenging. Treat her the same way you treat people you already respect and value in your life. This doesn't mean treating her like one of the guys. It means maintaining the same level of authenticity, boundaries, and self-respect that you maintain in your other meaningful relationships. Here's what this looks like practically. If you wouldn't cancel your gym session for a friend who wanted to hang out at the same time, don't cancel it for her either. If you need alone time to recharge, take it. If you have commitments, honor them. Your boundaries aren't insulting to her, they're evidence that you respect yourself. If you disagree with something she says, voice it respectfully. If you have a different perspective, share it. If she likes something you're not interested in, it's okay to say so. Agreeing with everything doesn't create compatibility, it creates a boring dynamic where you're a mirror rather than a person. Don't become endlessly available just because you like her. If you have plans with friends, keep them. If you're focused on a project, stay focused. If you're busy, it's okay to be busy. Your time becomes more valuable when it's limited, not when it's infinitely available. One of the first things men lose when they really like someone is their sense of playfulness. They become serious and careful. But playfulness, light teasing, banter, humor, is a crucial part of building attraction. Don't be afraid to joke around, poke fun, respectfully, or keep things light. There's a difference between I enjoy spending time with you and I need you to validate my existence. You can be clear that you're interested without making that interest feel like pressure. The key is that your interest comes from genuine enjoyment, not from need. Your life should have direction and meaning beyond romantic relationships. Your career, goals, passions, friendships, these things should continue to matter deeply. When you maintain focus on your broader purpose, your romantic life becomes part of a fulfilling life rather than the entirety of it. The core principle here is consistency. The version of you that she meets should be the same version she gets to know over time. You're not performing or trying to be perfect, you're just being the authentic version of yourself that you are with everyone else. This doesn't mean being inflexible or unwilling to invest in the relationship. It means that your investment comes from a place of genuine desire to connect, not from a desperate need to secure her approval. There's a paradox at the heart of this that's worth exploring. You become more attractive to someone else when you care deeply about yourself. This seems selfish on the surface. Shouldn't you be focused on her needs, her happiness, her approval? But here's what actually happens when you prioritize yourself. You have stronger boundaries, which creates respect. You maintain your purpose, which creates admiration. You preserve your authenticity, which creates genuine connection. You keep your independence, which creates attraction. When you take care of yourself, your physical health, mental well-being, career development, social connections, and personal growth, you become a more attractive partner. Not because you're trying to attract someone, but because you're becoming a more complete person. There's a concept in relationship psychology called differentiation, the ability to maintain your sense of self while in close relationship with another person. People with high differentiation can be intimate without being consumed, close without being dependent, caring without being needy. This is what you're cultivating when you treat her the same way you treat other important people in your life. You're demonstrating that you can care about her deeply while still maintaining your core identity. And this is incredibly attractive because it communicates several things simultaneously. I'm interested in you, but my world doesn't revolve around you. I care about your opinion, but I don't need your approval to feel good about myself. I enjoy spending time with you, but I'm also fulfilled by other aspects of my life. I want you in my life, but I don't need you to complete me. These messages create the psychological foundation for healthy attraction. They communicate value, stability, and emotional maturity. Contrast this with the messages sent by overinvesting and treating her completely differently than everyone else. You're the only thing that matters in my life. I need your approval to feel valuable. I have nothing else going on. I'm willing to abandon my boundaries to keep you interested. These messages, regardless of how they're delivered, create discomfort rather than attraction. There's another crucial reason to avoid this mistake. It sets you up for a healthier long-term relationship. When you start a relationship by overinvesting and abandoning your boundaries, you set an unsustainable precedent. You can't maintain that level of availability and agreeableness forever. Eventually, you'll need to reclaim parts of yourself, and that shift will feel like a betrayal to her. She'll think, "You used to always be available. Why are you different now? You used to agree with everything I said. Why are you pushing back? You used to put me first always. What changed?" But if you maintain consistency from the beginning, treating her well while also maintaining your boundaries and authenticity, you build a relationship on a sustainable foundation. She knows who you actually are. She fell for the real you, not a performance. She respects your boundaries because they've always been there. She values your time because it's always been valuable. This creates a relationship dynamic that can actually last because it's built on genuine compatibility rather than one person contorting themselves to please the other. Additionally, when you maintain your authenticity and boundaries, you attract women who actually like who you are. When you perform and overinvest, you might attract someone, but they're attracted to the performance, not the person. The goal isn't just to attract someone, it's to attract someone who's compatible with your authentic self. And that only happens when you show up as your authentic self from the beginning. The biggest dating mistake men make with women they like is treating them completely differently than they treat everyone else. Abandoning boundaries, overinvesting, becoming overly agreeable, and making their entire world revolve around one person. This mistake is understandable. It comes from a genuine desire to show someone they're special and valued. But it backfires because it communicates neediness rather than confidence, desperation rather than desire. The solution isn't to care less about the women you're interested in. It's to care more about maintaining your authentic self, your boundaries, and your purpose. Treat the women you like with the same respect, authenticity, and healthy boundaries that you treat other important people in your life. Don't perform. Don't overinvest to compensate for insecurity. Don't abandon yourself in pursuit of someone else. Be genuinely interested without being desperate. Be caring without being needy. Be invested without losing yourself. When you do this, something powerful happens. You attract people who genuinely appreciate who you are, not who you're pretending to be. You build relationships on sustainable foundations rather than unsustainable performances. And you maintain the self-respect that makes you attractive in the first place. Remember, the most attractive version of you isn't the one trying hardest to be liked. It's the one who's comfortable being themselves, maintaining their values, and living a life they're proud of, with or without romantic validation. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Aphorism Archive for more insights on relationships and personal development. Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And remember, the person who's right for you will appreciate your authenticity, not your performance. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.